Alrighty guys, hello and welcome back to another episode of The Duelist. Talks about things that he doesn't know anything about, but he's going to talk about it anyway because you guys have been asking about it. So today we're going to be talking about the most recent balance patch that has come out. So 3725. I usually script these kinds of videos and talk with a couple of key talking points. So this is just going to be free-flowing Duelist today, which is undoubtedly going to be a disaster, but let's go ahead and embrace the disaster for what it is and get moving. Okay, so the Cybran, come on guys, you gotta do my faction dirty like that. We don't even get into capital C, are getting some buffs that will make their mid-game a lot more robust. Okay, I feel like the Cybran T2 is pretty strong, to be honest with you. I'm not sure what we're defining as mid-game here, but I feel like their T2 is pretty strong at this point. So we'll see what the changes look like. Getting into, okay, and then plus various quality of life improvements and fixes to inconsistent unit behavior. This is a big one. We'll get into this one as well. So let's get into the changes. So first off, Zooey's having their build time adjusted by roughly 50%. This is a pretty good change, I think, just because I think Zooey's were being used as almost a replacement for Navy in some instances. And while it did offer a lot of flexibility, and one of the main reasons why I ranked them the way that I did in my faction ranking, I do think that it's something that is a good thing to change out. They're also changing out the build energy cost as well as the build time for the Titan and the Loyalist. I think this is a fine change. It doesn't seem to me to be a incredibly major change. Like, grand scheme of things, we're reducing energy cost by 150 and then build time by 240, if I'm doing the math correctly. Yeah, so I mean, it's a 10% reduction in build time, which is good. This is, I think, a really big one. So in addition to the change to the Titan and the Loyalist, we're setting up a 1.5 second stun to the slow firing weapon. So for those of you guys that don't know, the Loyalist has two primary weapons. The slower firing weapon affecting units up to and including T2, excluding Navy and structures. I think this is a really, really powerful upgrade, actually. It's going to make the Loyalist... I don't think the Loyalist was even that bad, honestly. I felt like it was a pretty viable unit, but it's definitely stronger now. And now the Titan, I think the Titan is kind of looking a little shabby, but let's continue on. Here's another kicker. So the Selene is getting a huge rework, and I think the biggest change is going to be here. Vision and radar are now multiplied by 0.6 when entering cloak mode. So, and again, this is one of those things that you'll see at higher levels of play. I see it a little bit at my level, but I don't have the APM to be able to deal with this, and I'm not a Seraphim player, so I don't use it a whole lot. But I also it doesn't feel like I run into that many huge Selene drops. But what a lot of professional players will do, and you can see this in a couple of my casts, is they'll drop Selenes either right on top of mass extraction points, or they'll drop them in like the back line and then put their cloak on just so that they can get a read of what is going on, how expanding engineers are moving, whether or not reclaim is getting taken in a particular point. And it's a great advantage to the Selene. The Selene is also able to kill engineers, so some of them even drop cloak and then go and snipe an engineer real quick, put the cloak back on. Makes it very annoying to actually deal with. So changing out the vision and radar range, effectively halving, like cutting in half the vision and radar range is, I think, pretty strong here. And yeah, you can see the summary here, but drastically reduces the abusiveness of cloak Selenes in the early game, with the reduced radar, as well as in mid game with the energy maintenance costs. So yeah, I think those are some good changes. Rhino, revert the weapon from a beam type to a projectile type to prevent misses when leading targets. Thank God. That's like the only problem with the Rhino. It feels like this has gone back and forth maybe once or twice since I've been playing FAF over the last 2 years or so, but not 100% sure on that. But I guess this is what they mean. So these two are what they meant by making Cybran mid game more viable. This doesn't seem to be a huge game changer though to Cyber mid game. I don't know though. We'll see. Maybe the Rhino is certified badass now and can take on Ilshiva's 1v1. But either way, that does it for land. So the Soul Ripper gets stealth now at a 600 energy maintenance cost. This one, there's been a lot of talk about it. I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like it fits the Cybran shtick, right? Because the Cybran is all about stealth. I think that maybe I think that this is broken where it is right now. I'll say that. And like I said earlier, I'm not qualified at all to comment on balance changes, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I'm me and I'm an idiot. But I think that this is really strong where it stands right now. So putting in stealth for the Soul Ripper, I think that if you're gonna do this, you need to drop the HP of the Soul Ripper. I'm not sure how much it would be, but maybe by like 5 to 10%. I'm not sure. I need to go run some numbers on it, but that would be my gut. That would be my gut feel, is if you're gonna give it stealth, you need to make it a little bit weaker, or maybe lower damage. I'm not sure, but that's kind of how I feel about that. Here's the big change on strat bombers. So we've all had this happen to us. There's an air player on the other team who just got the build order down to a science, gets a strat bomber out really quickly, and then all of a sudden you can kiss your T2 mexes bye-bye. So that is this is, I think, meant to combat that. So we're still going to be able to kill T2 mexes pretty much in one shot, but it is going to reduce the snowball effect, like it says in the paragraph here. So it's going to take longer for the strat bomber to vet, where a lot of times you'll just have hordes of interceptors chasing a strat bomber around, and it's just regenerating HP faster than the interceptors can actually do damage to it. So I think this is a really, really good change, especially in big team games. Turret yaw range. Okay, this is actually really cool. So the Cybran Destroyer obviously can't shoot behind it. This increases the firing radius or arcing radius, which is great. This I think is pretty cool. I've noticed this, like I've been saying I'm not an Aeon player. There is one time that I have built a Paragon in my life, and I was really confused as to why my shields weren't working, and I'm guessing that this is why. It's because you don't have any E-storage with the Paragon, which was weird. Okay, this is the one that everybody's probably been waiting for. Adjusting the hitboxes and the bones of point defense to make the WallPD template behave the same way for each faction. Okay, so I have never gotten more direct messages in like a 6-hour period than whenever this change was actually made. Because, and I'm gonna walk you through my mindset here, okay? I see the forum post. The forum post is about 6 months old. It says, hey, we're gonna fix it, but there's been a couple of updates since then. And so I'm like, maybe they forgot. I'm gonna go ahead and release the video anyway. I wasn't trying to, like, I don't know. I felt like there was almost, and maybe I'm reading that, and maybe I was reading into some of the personal messages too much, but I felt like there was a little bit of hate that came my way for making that video. I wasn't trying to like badmouth the devs or anything like that. It was something that I had discovered. It seemed like a relatively old issue. There had been updates in the past, so I wanted to make the video about it. But yeah, that being said, never gotten that many direct messages in a 12-hour period, which I found pretty funny. What I find funnier is it does say adjust hitboxes and bones to make the WallPD template behave the same way for each faction. It does not behave the same way for each faction, at least in the preliminary testing that I've done. I need to do a little bit more work with it before I'm ready to post a follow-up video. And for those of you guys that follow my channel, a couple of you guys picked up on this and also reached out to me directly. The original video, I put that as private just because I don't want to mislead people with the wrong information. They have completely fixed the Seraphim walls doing literally nothing. And by and large, the two PD templates kind of fall into two camps now. And I need to do a little bit more testing to make sure that I'm testing this thoroughly 100%. But as far as I can initially see, they don't behave exactly the same way. The differences are far more subtle now though than they used to be. Wow, this video is going way longer than I thought it was going to go. Okay, Cybran ACU Stealth upgrade and ACU Regen Field upgrade. Okay, so energy costs getting increased, mass costs getting in. No, why you got to do my boy like that? But it does provide an extra 2000 HP. Okay, so all right, against ACU that have both T2 and gun at the same time. Okay, I like this. You know, this is good. One of the biggest issues with the Cybran ACU, and one of the main reasons why I'm kind of hesitant, I guess, to play the Cybran, and I probably shouldn't be in big team games, is because you can get so quickly outclassed with enemy ACUs. Like UEF ACU goes like cheap nano and gun, and you're donezo, son. And wow, that rhymed, as a Cybran ACU, especially if you don't even have T2 on the field yet. It's just very hard to deal with. So this is, I think, a pretty good switch. And then ACU Field Regen upgrade now provides regen to the ACU itself. I'll be honest, I didn't know that it didn't do that already. I thought it did. Now uses different regen floor values for units depending on the tier. So if you'll remember what we talked about, the regen floor is the lowest amount of regen that it can actually grant to a unit, and then there is a percentage value that is added on top of this regen floor. And I'm actually, let's go see what the initial, oh wait, it wouldn't even be on the GitHub. I don't know how to pull the initial values, but it says it was an upgrade. I want to say this was like 2, maybe 1. I guess those would be my 2 options. So we're going to go for the safe and political answer there. But yeah, so this is a regen field upgrade. It buffs probably the lowest. I rarely see this upgrade get purchased. I think I've purchased it. I think I've gotten it once on a live stream. And I've seen it, I think, once in a cast. But it'd be good to see this upgrade get a little bit more publicity. It might be the next chrono dampener upgrade for the Seraphim, an overlooked upgrade that all of a sudden breaks into the limelight as a super strong upgrade. So I'll call the video there, guys. I really appreciate you guys for watching. Those of you that have stuck with me the entire way through. Yeah, that's about all I got for you guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.